Beast within. Take a moment and think about this idea. For generations, people have read the book of Revelation and imagined the beast as something out there, a figure, a ruler, a powerful enemy, something coming to take control. But there is another way to understand it, a way that is more practical and honestly more useful for us today. What if the beast is not something that arrives one day? What if it is something humanity slowly builds? Let's break this down in simple terms. Throughout history, every large system of control, whether political, economic, or technological, has not appeared overnight. It has grown over time. And it has always grown in the same way. Some people actively build it. Others support it because it benefits them. And most people simply allow it because they are busy, unsure, or believe they have no power. That combination, action, support, and silence, is what creates powerful systems. So when ancient texts like the book of Revelation or the book of Daniel describe great beasts rising and ruling over people, one very grounded interpretation is this. They are describing human systems, systems created and sustained by people, not monsters, but structures. Now here is an important point that is often uncomfortable but necessary. If a person is not actively shaping the system, either improving it or challenging it, then that person is still part of the outcome. Doing nothing is not neutral. It is a form of agreement with whatever direction things are going. We've seen this in history again and again. Systems do not become controlling at all at once. They become controlling slowly, step by step, while most people adapt to each small little change. So the question is not who created the system. The better question is how many people allowed it to form. Now let's address something deeper. Many ancient texts suggest that systems like this are not rare accidents. They are recurring patterns. In Revelation, it speaks about authority being given over all people and nations. In Daniel, it speaks about kingdoms rising, one after another, becoming more powerful and more controlling. Even outside religious texts, ancient writings on governance describe centralized control, surveillance, and structured societies. The pattern is clear. As societies grow, systems become more organized. As they become more organized, they also become more controlling. So trying to completely stop such a system from ever forming may not be realistic. But, and this is important, we are not powerless. If we cannot stop systems from forming, we can still influence how they are designed and how they operate. That shifts the whole conversation. Instead of saying we must fight the system completely, a more practical approach is how do we make sure the system serves people instead of controlling them. Because not everything in these systems is bad, some parts are useful. Coordination of services, protection of rights, efficient delivery of resources. The problem is not structure itself. The problem is when structure becomes control without accountability. Now let's bring this into today's world. One of the clearest modern examples is digital identity systems. These systems are being developed around the world, including in Africa, to help with access to services, financial inclusion, security, and many other elements. On the surface, that sounds positive, but there are real risks that we need to understand clearly. First, biometrics. Things like fingerprints, facial recognition, and iris scans are being used as identity markers. The issue is simple. If a password is stolen, you can change it. If your fingerprint or face data is stolen, you cannot change your body. That creates a permanent vulnerability. If such data is hacked or misused, it could be used to pretend to be you, access your accounts or property, even falsely link you to actions you did not commit. That is not science fiction, that is real design risk. The second risk is overregulation. If every part of a person's life is tracked, monitored, and controlled through a central system, something important starts to fade: freedom. Not just freedom to move, but freedom to think, create, and take risks. Human progress depends on creativity, and creativity needs space. If people feel constantly watched or restricted, they stop experimenting. They stop speaking freely. They stop building new ideas. And over time, that affects the entire society. So what do we do? This is where the hopeful part comes in. Because these systems are not fixed, They are designed by people, that means they can be designed properly. Here are practical ways to reduce the risks and protect human freedom. First, by decentralization. Instead of one central authority controlling all identity data, system can be spread out across multiple secure networks. This makes it much harder to abuse or hack. Second, self-sovereign identity. This means individuals own their own identity data. You decide who gets access to what information instead of everything being automatically available to a central system. Third, layered security. Do not rely on biometrics. Combine them with other forms of verification like secure digital keys or behavioral patterns. Fourth, privacy by design. Systems should only collect the minimum information needed. Not everything about a person needs to be stored. Fifth, transparency. The system should be open to inspection. Independent groups should be able to audit it. People should understand how it works. Sixth, legal protection. There must be strong consequences for misuse of identity data and clear processes to help people recover if something goes wrong. Seventh, choice. People should not be forced into one system with no alternatives. There should always be ways to function outside full digital control. So where does this leave us? If we go back to the idea of the beast, the conclusion becomes clearer and more grounded. The beast is not just something to fear in the future, it is a reflection of how humans build systems, and more importantly, how consciously we participate in those systems. We may not be able to stop large systems from forming, but we can decide whether they are fair or abusive, whether they empower or control, and whether they protect freedom or limit it. And that decision is not made by one person. It is made collectively, through awareness, participation, and responsibility. So the real message is not one of fear, it is one of responsibility.